Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Conversations Across the Ditch with myself, Carrie Marie in New Zealand, and the wonderful Kellie O'Shea in Australia, Tasmania, Australia. And we're here today because as coaches, we want to help our clients become more aware of where they're at and the possibilities of their personal development journey. So we're here today to discuss one of our most favorite topics, which is emotional intimacy. So Kellie, I'd love to know what is so important about emotional intimacy? Why is it so important?
Hi everyone. Thank you, Carrie, for that introduction. That was amazing. Emotional intimacy is really important because it allows you to really connect and understand what you're feeling and why you're feeling it, and you know, it releases tension. And I'm talking about, for me personally, you know, when becoming aware of the need to connect with my emotions is so important, and it helps you grow and it helps you deal with so much. Yeah.
Beautiful. So what, for you, what do you notice now having practiced emotional intimacy versus, say, before you started using it?
I find that I am able to let my emotions go a lot faster, and I don't dwell on them, and I understand them. You know, like if I feel angry, I accept that, and I name it, and I let it go. And so it is definitely allowed for me to move through life a lot better and with more understanding.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And yeah, if it's okay, I'd like to share a bit about my story too, because emotional intimacy for me has been huge. Even just a few months ago, before I knew and understood this technique, I'd just be in bed, crying my eyes out, going, I feel like crap, and I don't want to get up. Even though I had nothing planned for the day, it was a beautiful day, I would just feel awful. And it's like, and I couldn't get myself out of it. I just wanted the emotion gone. But since learning about emotional intimacy and understanding that actually being okay with not being okay, being okay with going, okay, this is how I feel right now, and it's not a problem. Actually, it's really not a problem. It's like, okay, just acknowledging that and understanding that there's an opportunity, a really good opportunity to broaden my experience of emotion, to experience the great wonder and excitement and love and compassion and joy, which I was blocking myself from because I didn't want to experience upset, hurt, sadness, fear, anger, resentment, frustration. I don't want to feel any of that stuff. And as a result, I didn't get to feel all these other feelings. So understanding that actually through that crap and ickiness and yuckiness, there was going to be something even better on the other side, and that it's worth going through it and processing it, and it can be really quick. That's the other thing I've learned. It can be quick. It can be like a few minutes, if not less. It's like, and instead of like hours, which is what it used to take me, or more. Sometimes before I started working myself, it would be years that I'd be sitting in an emotion. And now it's like, no, I can do it in minutes. I don't always manage it, but I know it's possible. And so when I know that I'm in an emotion, I know actually I'm choosing this right now. And that in itself is really powerful, knowing that, okay, there's choice here. I can do something about it if I want to, when I want to.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing that, Carrie. Like that, I resonate with that absolutely. And knowing that and understanding, for me, if I can just add, you know, when I wasn't getting in touch with it, I was holding on to it, and it was staying with me. So the next time that I felt that emotion, it was double, because I still had it in me, and it would come more. So benefit for me of learning and getting in touch with my emotional intimacy.
Yeah, and I learned this from, I do Reiki and sound healing as well, and what I understand about emotion is it's energy in motion. Emotions are designed to move and flow, and when they don't move and flow, like you say, they get stuck, and they get stuck in our tissues, in our cells, and unless it moves, it becomes toxic. And 80% of the world's diseases, or people's diseases, are caused by stress. And one of the major factors of stress is holding on to emotions, not letting them go when they need to be gone.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's another benefit of emotional intimacy, is it helps us to let go of, it keeps us healthy. Let's put it that way. So a benefit of emotional intimacy, it keeps us healthy physically, emotionally, and mentally. And before we hopped on this call, we were discussing a little bit about what emotional intimacy means. And Kellie was sharing about what she thought emotional intimacy meant. So would you like to share a bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, before I got on this journey, this amazing journey, and read this profound book, emotional intimacy to me, I thought, was between two people. You know, because I was grabbing onto that word intimacy, and I never really fathomed that was something, you know, that I have with myself. And then, you know, learning about it, and like you mentioned before, it is opening up my body and my mind to health and vitality and strength, and it's just absolutely amazing. It is wonderful. Yeah. Learning to get along with your emotions and not hold grudges, you know, not question, but just to get along with them.
Yeah. Wow, yes. That's a beautiful way of putting it. I love the way that you're saying about getting along with them. Like there's a relationship that we have with our emotions. It's not about the emotional intimacy that we just have with another person.
Right.
And I resonate with that too. And it's like, yeah, it's like, no, it's not just that. It's more than that. It's so much more, because it's the emotional intimacy we have with us. What is our relationship with our emotions? Because when we have a good relationship with them, we have a good relationship with ourselves, and that projects outwards onto the people around us too, right?
Absolutely. At the high five to that one, absolutely. You know, and you know, that's where that word intimacy comes into, because we are being intimate with our relationship, with our emotions ourselves. You know, and yeah, and like you said, it's just amazing. It opens the door, and we influence so many people around us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd actually like to go more into what intimacy actually means, because like we're kind of going around. So you've got emotional intimacy, but what does it mean to be intimate? What does it mean to have that intimacy? What is that?
To me, you know, to be connected. And this is coming from me personally. You know, to be intimate with your emotions, to name your emotions. Yeah, and that, you know, I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling, you know, drained, and I can connect that to frustration and anger. So I'm being intimate with how I feel and naming them. And that's how I look at it. How about you, Carrie?
So I look at it in terms of like presence, like you're saying, like getting to know them, but being present with them, not pushing them away, not going, I don't want to feel that, but being truly present and going, you know what, it's okay. It's okay that you're here. It's okay that I feel this way. It can't be any other way because of what I've been through and who I am right now, and it's okay, and inviting it in instead of pushing it away. So that's, yeah, to bring so in, like the in and intimacy, right? Bringing it in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you're saying, no judgment. Doing it without judgment.
Yeah. And then, you know, that's where the book is, you know, the words in the book that ring true to me are feelings aren't facts.
Yeah.
You know, if you're angry, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're an angry person.
Yeah.
If you're emotional, if you're sad, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're a wet blanket.
No, it just means that you're human. We all have emotions, we all process them in different ways, and we're all human.
Yeah.
It's just what I love about Ultimate You, actually, coming back to Sharon Pearson's book, and by the way, we've got a beautiful group called Empowering You Book Club where we're going through this book, and that's one of the reasons why we're touching on this subject, is because the whole chapter on this. And what I love about Sharon Pearson's take on emotional intimacy, and I've just lost my train of thought, was about how when we're growing up, we're sometimes favoring some emotions than others, and sometimes we might mislabel emotions because it wasn't okay to be sad, but it was okay to be angry. And so it's really important to actually start going, okay, well, how am I actually feeling? If the anger was an emotion that was okay in the home, how am I really feeling? And how does me expressing anger when someone's hurting and I feel sad for them, how is that actually playing out? Is that a helpful, resourceful way of being? Is it appropriate to that situation? And I've heard of people who've said that they don't approach someone because they've got something going on, like, but I don't approach this person I'm really close to because they're going to get angry about it. They're really sad. I know that, but they're going to get angry, and I don't want to have to experience that anger.
And that you know, definitely goes back to what you said before about how we feel and what we do with it and how we deal with it. It can be seen and felt by other people as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what it means as well is when we are not okay with our emotions, we can't be there for someone else when they're feeling emotional. Like if we're not okay with being angry, when someone's angry, we're not okay with it. If someone's sad, we're not okay with being sad ourselves. We want to make it better. We want to fix it. And that can actually be more harmful than going, it's okay that you're sad. Even someone just saying to you, it's okay to be sad, can just release a whole lot of stuff, because suddenly they don't have to hold on and pretend that they've got it all together. They can just go, oh my God, and then you might get sobs, but you know what? It's okay, because when you're okay with your sadness, you get to just be there with that person, not try and make it different. It's just like, it's okay, and you understand that there's healing happening, and then it's a privilege to be there holding that space for that person, and that's a wonderful feeling.
Absolutely, yeah. That's profound, isn't it? And definitely a part of beautiful human nature.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And you know, like, I think one of the other things, you know, that you know, talking about the book, that I really love and I really hold on to is the fact that no one else has to feel what I'm feeling. You know, it's okay, and no one else. I don't have to feel what someone else is feeling.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. Yeah.
And that's so important, right? Because sometimes you feel, oh, this person's sad, I should feel sad. And it's like to fit in, to be accepted or something, or maybe because you feel like it's the right thing to do. It's like, oh, this person's crying, I should cry with them. No, give them space, let them cry, let them just know that you're there.
Absolutely.
It's not about you.
No.
And you don't have to feel it. Yeah. It's all about them. Let them experience their experience and just hold space with them. It's so powerful. And doing that, you are bringing more benefit. You are giving more than you could ever know to that person, that they can just cry in front of you. Because if you start crying, they might go, oh, it's not okay for me to cry because this person needs me to console them. I'm making this person cry. That's not cool. And they might start getting guilty about feeling the way that they're feeling instead of just being allowed to feel it.
Right. Yeah. And in doing that, allowing them to do it, you're giving them permission in that to hold on to that intimacy, that emotional intimacy for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that. That's great. Yeah.
Cool. So, how do you feel about talking about the how? So we've talked about why it's important, what it is, what it gives us when we do that, how it affects our relationships with people, and the power of helping others with this too. How do you feel about talking about the how?
Oh.
The process. I'm betting our listeners are really keen to know, okay, what is this? How do we do this for ourselves?
Yeah. You know, it's connecting with your emotion and being able to allow yourself to feel it. You know, and naming it. You know, I mean, and that's not easy. Then you learn to do that as time goes on. But then I think for me, I don't know about you, Carrie, but the real part to remember is that you've got to let it go. You embrace the emotion, you allow the emotion, you name it, and it takes a while to learn, you know, how to connect the different feelings that you have to the emotions. I know the definite thing that resonates with me and is important to really learn is that you need to let go of the emotion and let it go, not hold on to it. You know, once you embrace it, then, yeah, you've got to let it go.
Yeah. So what I love about what Sharon Pearson shares, she shares, I forget how many steps it is, but essentially it's breathe, pause, breathe. And I find it really helpful to breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth. I find that it seems to release a whole lot more tension. So just slowing ourselves down, so taking deep breaths. Validate yourself. Tell yourself it's okay. It's okay that I feel this way. And then be present with what you're feeling. Where are you feeling it? Is it in your chest? Is it in your belly? Is it in your shoulders? Is it in your head? Is it in one of your limbs? Where is it? Can you describe it? Is it a pain? Is it tightness? Is it heaviness? Is it tingling? When we can place words and things like that, we're getting ourselves out of being in it. We're starting to go, okay, we're making ourselves the observer. What's going on with this? We're taking a bit of a back seat, if you like. We're not in it anymore. We're sort of going, okay, let's have a look at this. Let's unpack this. We're getting curious. What is this thing that I'm experiencing? So when we look at our physicality, we're not thinking about why it is that we're feeling this way. We're just going, okay, what is it? Where is it? What am I experiencing? And then you can look at, then you want to explore, okay, what is the emotion that I'm feeling? What is this? Is it sadness? Is it frustration? Is it anger? Is it fear? Worry? What is it? So it's like, okay, what am I feeling? And being honest with that, because like I said before, sometimes we might cover up one feeling with another. We might go be angry when actually it's sadness that we're feeling. So we want to be honest with what emotion is this? And if you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. If you need to move your body, move your body. Listen to what your body needs. If it needs to do something, do that, because emotions are energy in motion. So when we start moving our bodies and letting it do what it needs, we start to free up that energy. And in doing that, when we're starting the process of letting go and surrendering.
Absolutely.
Which is the most important thing, just letting it go. And the process to begin with might take you a while. It might take you hours to get through this. But the more you practice it, the quicker you get. Like the quickest I've processed an emotion, and I've done a meditation. I was curled up on the floor afterwards and literally a ball and crying my eyes out. And I was like, okay, all right, let's do this. What? It's okay that you feel this way. What's coming up for you? Where are you feeling it? What's this about? And I kid you not, I processed it within like 30 seconds. It was so freaking fast. And it's like, oh, I feel okay now. I couldn't believe it. It was like, I think I just experienced something really, really quite profound there, and it's all gone. I feel really good now. And that's a sign that you've done it. When you feel lighter after the process, you know you've actually released that emotion or some of the emotion. So that's the name of the game. When you feel lighter at the end, you know you made progress. So that's kind of like a benchmark. If you feel more drained afterwards, there's probably a bit of some things still there, residual, but that's okay. Just be aware of it and notice that and go, okay, maybe next time I can do something a little bit different. Maybe I need to have more of a dialogue with myself. Maybe I didn't move my body enough. Maybe I was holding back on the tears. And just notice. Don't judge yourself for it. Just notice it, because it's a process and a learning, and it's a lifelong journey.
Absolutely.
And that's something to be aware of too. You're not going to crack it overnight. It's going to take a while, but it's worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah. Thank you, Carrie. That was phenomenal. Thank you for sharing that. And I think, definitely one of the other things that I'm learning, I haven't always done it, is sharing my emotions with someone.
Yeah.
And that's a good way of, for me personally, of letting it go as well. Out loud to someone else, you're hearing it, and it's so different. Talking about it rather than just trying to feel it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I do is I talk it out with myself. I don't keep my inner dialogue inside. I actually talk it out. So when I'm saying, oh, what am I feeling right now? I'm actually speaking it out. It's like, oh, it's here and in the left-hand side of my body. Oh, it feels really tight and heavy. Oh, and okay, and then you might notice it moves even, which is a great sign. If you feel sensations in your body move as you're talking about it, talk about that too. Oh, it's moving up my back now. Oh, and it's feeling really tight and tense there. Oh, okay, now it's moving up to my shoulders. Oh, okay, now. Because when you're starting that dialogue, not only noticing that it's moving, which is fantastic, but again, you're not taking it, you're not sitting in it. But I love what you're sharing about sharing it with someone else, because that's been a game changer for me too, is being able to share it with people. But what I think is really important to note is it's important who you share it with. Because if you're sharing with someone who isn't okay with their emotions, they'll either try and make it better, or they'll try and shut you down and say, oh, no, just lighten up. Chill out. It's all good. And that's not what you want to hear. What you want is someone to be there and go, it's okay that you're sad. Let me be here whilst you be sad. That's when the real power happens. And that's what I love about being a coach as well. I get to do that for other people. It's okay that you're sad. I don't have to make anything better.
I love that.
How about you, Kellie? Because I know you're epic at this as well. I know that you're amazing. I know that you've done this for me too. I know you're a star when it comes to validation, and that's what we're talking about here. It's really validation. It's okay that you feel this way right now.
And it's not always easy to be the person that validates someone else, but it's so important to learn to be able to do it. That's another thing, not to, to be the one that just solves the emotional crisis. Validate what they're feeling.
Yeah, and I used to be one of those people who go, I want to make this better, but I don't know what to say. And that's like, I do know what to say. Now it's like, it's great. Silence is perfect. Ask them what they need. Do they need touch? Do they need me to stay away? Do they need a drink? I can ask them. It's okay for me to ask, what do you need right now? Because some people need a hug. Some people don't. My other response was, I don't know what to say. I'll just give them a hug. And sometimes I wouldn't want that, and I feel offended, and I would feel like, oh, I've done the wrong thing, and I feel upset about that. It's like, no, I'm making it about me. And actually, it's okay that they don't want to be touched by me. It's okay that they just need to process the emotion in the way that they need to process it.
Absolutely.
And again, that comes back to being okay with your emotions, because when you're okay with your emotions, it's okay for them to feel their feelings. You don't have to fix it.
I love it. Yeah, totally. I love that.
Let's see. So we now know why it's important to feel emotional intimacy. We now know what emotional intimacy is about. We know how to do it. So the only questions I have left are, what if? What if? I know from my personal experience when I was first learning about this, like, okay, like I used to do EFT, for instance, on myself, and I would get stuck. I'd get more stuck doing the EFT. Like I would end up feeling, okay, I feel miserable. I'll do some EFT to help me shift it. I'd get myself in such a state that I'd be bawling my eyes out and couldn't function. And I'd be like, and I don't know if there's anyone here on the call that's ever experienced that, or maybe it's just me.
No.
But I'd actually love to hear from you, Kellie. What would you recommend someone do in that situation? So you've got someone who's doing EFT, perhaps haven't heard of this, it's called emotional freedom technique, and it involves tapping on specific points around the face and on the body to release emotion. You might use a dialogue with it to help give voice to what's going on for you. And it's a really powerful technique. Now I'm talking from my own personal experience of before I knew emotional intimacy and how to use it. I would go from feeling miserable to feeling outright, I can't function. I'd just be pulling my eyes out and go, I can't do anything, I just can't stop crying, which is the complete opposite of my intention, which was to shift how I was feeling. I'm just curious, Kellie, if you have some suggestions on what someone could do in that situation to help themselves get out of it using emotional intimacy.
Well, like we take the step, like you acknowledge, what you're feeling, and you've already, acknowledged that, you're feeling sad. Where are you feeling it? And just like connecting with it, not trying to push it away or let it go or, just ignore it. Embrace it and acknowledge where it is. Maybe if you want, try and understand where it's coming from. Yeah, and just let it be and connect with it. And then, when that connection and that understanding is there, then, you can go through the process of letting it go. It serves its purpose. And I think that also something that a lot of people, start to understand is our emotions and our feelings, they serve a purpose. And once we accept that and connect that, then we can let them go.
That's awesome. That's really cool. That would have really helped me back then when I was going through that myself. And the other thing I think that's really important is intention. Because like when I think about those times where I did get stuck, I was probably in that intent of, I want rid of this. I don't want to feel like this. I just want to tap away and feel good, but not wanting to really feel what was coming up. So I think the intention is really important. And the intention when you're doing the emotional intimacy, I think, is really not about getting rid of it. It's really about, okay, exploring it. Getting comfortable with exploring it. Oh, it's that thing again. Yeah. Okay, cool. I get to experience this crappiness so that I can feel even more joy on the other side. Yeah. At the time, I probably would have struggled with that, to be fair, but for people who are like, I don't want to feel the ickiness, know that it's temporary, and the more that you experience it, the faster you process it. It's kind of like, I suppose if I'd understood from this point of view, there's a choice. The choice is to experience it fully, wholly, and completely, as quickly as possible so it moves fast, or sit in it and wallow in it for however long it takes for it to just pass by. So you can either be active and shift it really quick, or you can be passive and just wallow and hope it passes on. I know that now it's like, okay, I want to get on my day. My time's too valuable to sit and wallow in depression or misery. It's like, no, I need to shift this. Like today, I'm not going to come on here and be tired. It's like, no, I can shift through this. Why am I feeling tired? I can get through this, be here, present, and give my best to be able to serve.
And I love that point that you put in there, when then when you were able to do that, when it happened again, you recognized it. Oh, there it is again.
Yeah, it's that thing.
In more, I don't know, more accepting. You knew or understood what it was.
yeah, and the beauty of it going, oh, that thing again, it's dismissive as well. It's like, it's not dismissing in the sense of, oh, I don't want to feel that. It's dismissive in the sense of it's not a big deal.
Right, absolutely.
It's kind of like, oh, yeah, it's that thing. Okay, cool, let's just go through this. Let's just go through the process, and I'll get through the other side, and it's all good. Versus, oh, it's that thing. Oh, no. I don't want to feel that again. It's like, oh, no, it's that. It's all good. I'll get through it. There's pleasure on the other side.
Even being able to do that to you, Carrie, but isn't that empowering?
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's absolutely huge. It's changed my life. I don't say that lightly. It's literally changed my life, this whole process. And I've done a lot of work over the years with getting emotional. I've done, like I said, I studied Reiki. That brought up a whole lot of stuff, and I've stopped doing that for a while. I've done 10-day meditations, and I've done Kundalini yoga and all sorts of which bring up emotions, and EFT too, and a bunch of other techniques. And I've always gone, I don't want to feel this yucky feeling.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel that. And it's kind of like all those processes brought that stuff up, but then I'd be like, I don't know what to do with this. I feel yuck, and I don't know how to get out of it. But now I know with this, what we're sharing here today, I have the power to go, okay, this is coming up. Now I can shift it. It's not a big deal anymore. And that's huge. It's like all that stuff, and it's like, you know, I've got a fabulous partner. He's like, and who's done a lot of work himself. And he's like, well, thing is, if you don't deal with it now, it's going to come back. But it's like, yeah, but I don't know how to deal with it. I don't want to feel this way. So now it's like, yeah, okay, I can feel that. It's okay. I can feel miserable. I know it's going to pass, and I can just go have that dialogue. And it's like, oh, it's gone. And sometimes that happens really quick. Like, it's just, I'm there and talking about it, talking it through, and then next minute I know, and I might have a bit of a cry, and it's like, oh, now it's gone. And it can be like literally day and night switch. God, it's like, oh my God, it's fabulous. But it took practice. Don't get me wrong, it took practice for it to get that quick, and I don't do it all the time. But it's possible, and I want you to, and that's what I really want people to understand is the possible. That yes, it's not easy. Yes, it feels awkward and horrible at first, but persevere. Persevere with it, because it is phenomenal. It is life-changing, not just for you, but the people around you, because, hey, I was not fun to live with. You know, not fun to live with at all when everything was hard, and I was depressed about the least thing, and I was getting angry and frustrated about the least thing. It's like, it's okay.
It is, isn't that for me? You know, while you were talking there, I was thinking, you know, just for me, you know, I'm recognizing when that emotion is starting to rise, and I've learned the techniques to let go of it a lot faster now than what I was able to, because I'm recognizing the signs that where I'm feeling it, and I'm recognizing, okay, I know what that is, and yeah, and I'm in control. I can do this, and I love that breathing technique. You know, I work with children, Carrie, and the deep breathing is wonderful. And yeah, just like deep breathe. Yeah, I love it.
It's so powerful, isn't it?
It is, and it can be done anywhere, anytime, and it's so easy.
It is. It is. But it's just having that consciousness and awareness to do it in the moment. And that takes practice. And it's okay. I remember my mum, she taught us, hey, look, when you're feeling blah, blah, just take a breath. Pause. 1, 2, 3. But you see, what I would do is hold my breath, and then I kind of do a bit of a breath out. And that's if I remembered. I usually didn't. But you see, you've got to be careful when we do it, because we can hold on to stuff when we just want to let go. And that's what I love about the really breathing through the mouth, really forcing that air out, because then you're forcing motion to go with it. And being okay with getting it wrong, being okay with forgetting. Next time. There's always next time. Even visualizing yourself, okay, what happened? Okay, next time this happens and I notice that I feel my heart racing and this person's angry or whatever, I can take a breath. It's okay. Because I don't know about you, because anger's one of my things. It's like I don't deal with anger very well, especially if it's directed at me. So for me, that's a really powerful thing, is to actually go, okay, this person's angry at me. It's not about me.
Yeah.
And it's okay that I feel anxious and my heart's racing. Just breathe.
Yeah.
And if I don't know what to say in that moment, it's like, it's okay. Or can we have this conversation later when you're perhaps not so heated?
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, that in itself, being able to do that breathing, to let go, that takes practice as well. I don't, and not, I don't want people to think just by taking that breath, everything's going to be okay. But it takes practice as well.
It does. And being okay with getting it wrong.
Absolutely.
You're human, and when you're trying to do anything new, you're going to make mistakes. It might be a case of you take a breath and you still react. It's like, it's okay. You took the breath. Acknowledge yourself for that, because you did something different. And even if you say the wrong thing, even if it doesn't work out the way you expect, it's okay. You're trying something new. And so every time you try something new, really acknowledge yourself for that, because that in itself is the most amazing, wonderful thing that you can be doing for yourself and others. So it's really important to acknowledge when your little wins, even if they're tiny. Like we're saying, it's going to take practice to do this technique. Acknowledge yourself for whenever you do any part of it. If you acknowledge yourself for slowing your breath down, good. Really pat yourself on the back. Hey, I did that for myself. If you notice how long it takes you to process an emotion, say it normally takes you a week, but now you're down to, say, 6 days, awesome. That's progress. If you notice it takes you like 6 hours to process an emotion normally, but you're doing it in, say, 5 or even 5.5, brilliant. Yeah. Progress. Yeah. Pat yourself on the back. It takes time. And it's okay. So just notice all your little wins that you have whenever you do something new, whenever something takes you a little bit quicker.
Acknowledgement and validation are key opponents to really embracing emotional intimacy and what you learn. And being okay, like you said before several times, being okay with getting it wrong or not getting what you want straight away.
Yeah, even if it takes you longer than you hoped to go through it. If it's shorter than last time, brilliant. Even if it takes you longer than it did last time, it doesn't matter. The point is you're trying something new. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just means more practice.
Yeah, exactly. And validating yourself because, hey, I did it. And when I didn't get the outcome I really thought I was going to get or I wanted, but I did it. And I'm going to do it next time and go a little bit further. You're going to get to the point where you'll be like, oh, I've got this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Cool. So how are we doing, Kelly? I feel like we've explored quite a lot today. We've talked about why emotional intimacy is important. We've spoken about what it is, the power and effect it has on our lives when we use it, how to go through the process, some what ifs, like some situations that come up for people, like not wanting to feel emotion, maybe trying processes where they feel even worse than when they started and how to get out of that. Is there anything else that you feel like would make this session more complete for our listeners?
I think, I didn't want to really validate people that are with us, listening. And I hope that they they take away from this and learn the skills that really are going to change their life, and becoming strong and connecting with your own emotional intimacy, and it's really powerful.
Absolutely. And I'd like to invite people to reach out to us as well, because what I'm finding is that a lot of my clients, for instance, they don't have people that will lift them up. They don't have people who will validate them where they're at. So if you find yourself in that situation where you don't have anyone, I'd like to invite you to reach out to either myself, to Kelly, to our group. So you're more than welcome to come into our group where there's people in there working on this stuff who are actively wanting to improve their skills in emotional intimacy and their mindsets and becoming better people. and experiencing more fulfillment in their life. So if that sounds like you, please do reach out, because it's so powerful to have positive people around you who you can share this stuff with if you don't have that already. And even if you do, there's no harm in having more.
It is. It's absolutely. Before we end our Epic podcast, can I just add 3 daily practices that I would like our listeners to embrace when they're starting this journey? I want them to acknowledge yourself, with compassion and how you feel, all right, and be okay with that. I want you to let yourself laugh out loud. It's been ages since I really heard someone belly laugh. That to me is a real laugh. And Carrie, you have that, so I can't wait to hear you laugh.
We do. We have a lot of fun. I consider our Sunday mornings epic because I get to laugh so much. we have a grand old time. So find yourself someone who you can laugh with is really important. Laughter is one of the best medicines around. It really is.
And then finally, I want our listeners or people on our page to be present to someone else without overwhelming them with their views on their emotions. And I know, Carrie, you touched on it, that you don't have to, understand or be feeling that emotion, that same emotion, but just validating what they're feeling, and that it's okay that they're feeling or expressing what they are without having to feel it yourself. Yeah.
So true. So true. And just asking them, being okay with asking, what do you need right now? What do you need from me?
Yeah, and it's that there in gold. Because you don't need to make any decision. You don't need to know what they want. You ask them, they tell you.
Takes the guesswork out of it, guys. Honestly, just knowing that actually it's okay for me to ask someone what they need was epic, because I felt so uncomfortable when someone was upset or whatever. It's like, what do I do? It's like, freaking ask the person. They'll tell you. If they want to hug, great, hug them. If they don't, and they just want to sit alone, great. It's not about you. It's about them and how they want to process that emotion. It's fantastic. Just ask, and you'll learn so much more about that person and how to handle it perhaps next time. But even then, don't make assumptions. Just ask, hey, I see that you're a bit emotional right now. Is there anything you'd like me to do for you? Don't assume that you even need to do anything.
That's it. And that's one of the things, and I'm going to be honest with you guys here. It took me a while to really grasp that, because as a human being, or me personally, I want to really do something for people. And when someone says, no, there's nothing you can do, I'm like, what? There has to be something I can do. Okay, now, okay, there's nothing you want me to do, that's fine. Okay. I'm here for you.
Yeah, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to fix it. You're just going, it's okay for you to feel what you're feeling. It's okay that you want what you want right now. And if that's no help, you just want to process emotion on your own, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. Well, if you change your mind, if you need something, I'm right here for you.
Exactly. That's precious and that's amazing.
That's one of the most amazing things we can do as human beings, is just be there for each other when we're feeling whatever we're feeling.
Absolutely.
So there we go. I think that's probably a wrap. I love those exercises that you gave to our listeners. So I hope that they will take that on board. And what I'd also like to do is I'm going to put a freebie up in our group, our Facebook group. So it's facebook.com/groups/empowering you book club. And you're more than welcome to come and join in that. And I'm going to post a resource in the group, which is from the Coaching Institute, and it's about feelings. It's like, because often our language around feelings is quite restricted, so just to broaden up our language around that. So there's a whole list of feelings, so that if you're not sure what the heck you're feeling, you can perhaps go through that and go, oh, that's the one. To help you name it. Because when something has a name, it's a little bit easier to deal with than when it's some unknown, vague thing. So I'd like to really offer that to our group members. If you're not a group member already, come and join. It's free.
Yeah. And, if you do come and join the group, it's great because Carrie uploads herself live reading through the Ultimate You by Sharon Pearson, and that's epic. And again, Carrie, I want to thank you so much for doing that. That's epic. Hearing you read it, it's great. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. And I'm so glad to see that people in the group are getting a lot out of it as well, because I just read in like 10, 15 minutes. If I lose track of time, it's 15 minutes, but generally it's about 10 minutes so that you can easily fit it into your day when you're washing dishes or doing an odd job around the home. It's something you can listen to in your car or whatever. Something just really quite easy that you can access and listen to, because even just hearing it can trigger something in the brain, in your mind, and get you to think about things a little bit differently. And it's not too much, like 10 minutes. Sometimes there's so much packed into it. In 10 minutes, there's a lot to take in. So that's why they're so short. Any longer than that, it's kind of like it gets too much. You lose stuff. You can get the most out of the book and listening to it. And you can also have access to the written if you prefer, because I know some people like to read versus listen. So there's also access to that as well.
Yeah. And because they're up there, I think that the bonus to everyone is you can always go back and re-listen again and again.
Absolutely. Those units will still be up. Even when we move on to a new book, we'll still keep those units up. So if anyone wants to revisit or listen to that, it's still there. Yeah. I don't tend to take those down.
I think that's it. Because, for me, I've read Ultimate You 3 times now. And each time, it's like reading a brand new book. You get something different out of it. So I really encourage people to listen to one of the recordings more than once. Listen to them more than once. You really do get so much out of it.
It's true. And I've noticed for myself when I've been listening to stuff, if you walk away with one thing, you're doing well. So when you listen to it again, you might walk away with 2 things. When you listen to it again, you might walk away with 3 things. So if each time you listen to it, you get one thing out of it, brilliant. Because our minds are wide and such a way that you'll only hear what it is that you're ready to hear in action at that time. And there might be things that are deeper that you don't get yet. So when you listen to it again, it's like, oh, now I understand this next bit, because you've been practicing. You've started to embody some other things that you understood at that time. And that now means you're open to, it's like an onion. It's like peeling away the layers. You go, oh, here's another layer. There's another level to this information that I didn't get. So yeah, it's really cool. It's an interest. The personal development journey is amazing. There's so much to it. I don't think there's any end. It's a lifetime worth of learning.
It is. It's phenomenal, isn't it, Carrie?
Absolutely.
And also, if something comes up that you want to explore more, please reach out to either Carrie or I, or put it in the group, and we'll explore more and extend more on it if we can, because we're there for you, aren't we, Carrie?
Absolutely. So you can reach out to us in the group itself. You can also message me on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Carrie Marie Adlington with 1 D. Not too many of those online, so you should find me okay. You can also email me at carrie@selfnurture.org. And how about you, Kelly? How can people reach out to you?
Well, definitely you can message me on Facebook. If you want to email me, you can email me at dare to live with the number 2, live to inspire with the number 2 at gmail.com.
Cool. So dare to live, dare to inspire at gmail.com. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a wrap for now. So this is us, Carrie Marie and the beautiful Kellyanne from Tasmania. Yeah, this is our first ever Conversations Across the Ditch. And looking forward to the next episode. Yeah. The topic of which is still to be determined, but we'll let you know as soon as we know.
We'll let you know. And thank you so much, Carrie Marie Adlington from Across the Ditch in New Zealand. It's been a pleasure. I love it, and I look forward to our next topic, and we will let you guys know, and encourage you to get involved, ask questions, and like I said, we will endeavor to find answers. If we can't find them or we don't know them, then we will search for you.
Absolutely. And we love it. It pushes us a bit too. If we don't know something, it gives us a chance to expand our knowledge and learn something else. So we love it. So please do, if you've got questions, do share them with us. There's no stupid answer, so no stupid questions.
No. None at all.
So do ask. Even if it seems like potentially really obvious, do ask.
Yeah. And just adding on there, when Carrie said there's no stupid question, so in that sense, there's no judgment, okay? Now, you may think it's a stupid question, but there's no judgment. Like Carrie said, as a stupid question. It's all learning.
Absolutely. So ask away.
Yeah. We love learning, don't we, Carrie?
Absolutely.
All right, then.
All right.
We're going to wrap. Bye, Carrie.
Bye, Carrie. Bye, our listeners.
Bye.